Live from the Sports Center of Connecticut here in Shelton, we bring you this presentation of NCAA Division I Women's Hockey and the New England Women's Hockey Alliance. Today, it's the Long Island Sharks coming into town to take on your post-university Eagles. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome into the broadcast booth here at the rink, backed by our athletic communications director, Michael Vesci, producers Kristen Brown and Jarrett Michaels, and our entire team of graduate assistants here at Post University. My name is Max Stapleton, and we're thrilled to be taking you through today's action. The Eagles come into this game playing some of their best hockey of the season. After sweeping the first two games of the Merritt Parkway matchup against Sacred Heart, Post, they've won 3 of their last 4 games and 4 of their last 7 games overall. Much of that winning can be attributed to their captain, Hannah Saunders, who seems to have found her stride and is looking her strongest over the last month or so. Over her last 4 games, all of which Saunders has started in between the pipes, she has allowed only 6 total goals, tallying a 94.7 save percentage and a 1.5 goals against average. Meanwhile, after finishing atop the season standings last year, Long Island University finds themselves sitting at 7th in the standings so far this season. While their defense is statistically the best in the conference, they lost a lot of their scoring prowess in the offseason, and they're having a hard time finding the back of the net. Now going up against one of the best netminders in the conference and possibly one of the best netminders in all of Division I so far this year, it'll be interesting to see how the Sharks attack this Eagles defense and if they can find a way to score today. So don't go anywhere. As you can see, these teams are getting out onto the ice right now. We'll have the starting lineups, goalie matchups, game previews, and, of course, the puck drop. That's all coming up next, and you're watching Post University Women's Hockey. Welcome back into the Sports Center of Connecticut, everybody, as we're just about a minute from getting underway here between the Long Island Sharks and your Post-University Eagles. So with that, let's breach you today's starting lineups. First for the visiting Sharks coming into this one, 5-8-1 overall, 3-8-1 in New Ha play. On the forward grouping, it's Paige Vreeman, Grace Babington, and Drew Dykowski. Emma Mortal and Lisa Schroeffel are your two defensewomen, I should say. And then, of course, it's Clara Kamholtz starting in net for the Sharks, the junior goaltender out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So far this season, she's having a great year. Second in goals allowed and second in goals against average. 2.10 is her GAA and a 91.9 save percentage so far this year. Meanwhile, for the home squad, it's going to be Maddie Noonan, Jet Devlin, and Selena Mikavakis as the forward trio. Lily Zoner and Emma Hain as your defense pairing. And in net, of course, their captain, the senior netminder out of Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, Hannah Saunders. A 2.26 goals against average and a 92.9 save percentage. Thank you so much for joining us on this lovely Friday afternoon. Boy, winter really came quick, didn't it, here in Shelton? As we're officially underway, it's the Sharks and the Eagles, and Emma Hain takes it into her offensive zone for Post-University. Hain, what an addition. She's been quick pass into the slot, and already a tough save made by Clara Kamholtz early in this game. Boy, Emma Hain, we were just talking about how great of an addition she has been for this Eagles staff and this Eagles crew. Already making her presence felt early in this one. We'll touch more on those numbers as this game goes along. But it's Jody Rose in the face-off circle for Post. And Grace Babington, the leading scorer on the Sharks team so far. She wins it, but Sharks right now having a hard time getting out of their own zone. And Kamholtz actually had to poke check it away from there. Sharks in their away, light blue uniforms with the yellow and white trim going right to left into their offensive zone. And immediately we have a whistle blown. Looks like it's going to be offsides. Two players collided hard into each other right at the blue line. Looks like it was Paige Vreeman and the aforementioned Emma Hain. We'll have a little bit of a neutral ice face-off here. It's a pretty different look for Long Island University. If you were watching them last year to this year, lost a lot of their top scorers. Grace Babington really the only one who remains for LIU. Send it right into their offensive zone. Karis Kell chasing after it for Post. So is Ryan Kearns. Sharks retain possession. Trying to get it back up to the blue line was Kearns, but no can do. Eagles get it out of their own defensive zone and going to get a platoon swap in. All the way back down, no icing called, and officially a minute in to this hockey game so far. An important game in terms of the New Ha standings right now. Eagles come into this at 5th in the New Ha so far this year. Meanwhile, Long Island University come into this one 7th. Of course, LIU used to be LIU Post, so it can be confusing there. But Eagles moving left to right and now going back into their offensive zone. Quick pass into the slot. Pass gets broken up there by a Sharks defender, and they try to break out. No can do. Tristan Curry cuts it off and sends it into the far corner. Chasing after it, Riley Patfield. Kristen Kiggin's going to collect the loose puck for Long Island. Victoria Petruska just going to shoot it into the corner, and Kelly Nash and those Long Island Sharks going to get a couple of fresh legs out there. Peyton Tully trying to go 1 against 3 there and gets sandwiched in between two Long Island defenders. Kiggin once again trying to stop on a dime, turn around, no can do. Eagles on the forecheck, and Peyton Tully doing a nice job of keeping the puck in the O zone. Georgia Stevens plays it against the wall. Anna Bernaire picks it up. Shot goes against the side of the net. And Kiggin once again turns around, looks to slow it down. Sharks trying to set up a way to get out of the zone, but not if Peyton Tully has anything to say about it. Tully tries to shoot, never reaches the net. Puck goes back behind the post of Clara Kamholtz. Now a battle for it between two Eagles and two Sharks over there. Puck dances around the boards, and finally Long Island is able to get out of their defensive zone. A couple of skaters are able to get off, but bringing it right back in. Mikavakis, she takes the shot, but that one just misses the net, trying to go for her own rebound. Again, no can do there. Now battle for it. Boy, those two women are going after it hard in the corner. Mikavakis trying to see who the Shark was there, making a physical play. It was Kristen Kiggin, two experienced players. Meanwhile, the long shot on goal from Georgia Stevens doesn't work out. We'll have our first stoppage here. How about that? Just over 3 minutes gone in this one between the Sharks and the Eagles. Boy, you mentioned it in our pregame show, Saunders hasn't been tested at all so far in this game. She's been fantastic in the last 4 games or so. 1.5 goals against average and above a 94% save percentage. Looking to continue that today, but right now it's the rest of the skaters who are doing a great job of just keeping the puck on the other side of the ice. And the Eagles here on home turf coming out with some energy, but meanwhile the Sharks trying to respond here. What a move by Paige Freeman, the follow-up shot, and Hannah Saunders has to make her first couple of saves of the day. Boy, Paige Freeman was able to just shoot that up in the air. It landed right back on her stick and got a grade A opportunity right in front of Hannah Saunders' crease. Meanwhile, into the near corner here, Grace Babington has it taken away from her by Karis Kale. Some good help from Noah Farberman as well, and the puck deflects up into the netting. 16:25 to go. I'm having a hard time getting over that play by Grace Babington. One of the top scorers on this Long Island team for a reason. You just saw the puck handling skills there as she entered the offensive zone. Babington, by the way, 4 goals leads the team, 6 assists leads the team, and therefore, of course, 10 points leads the team for Long Island University so far this season. Eagles moving left to right. That's Farberman, tries a cross-ice pass to Grum. Goes off her stick and deflects into this near corner, but Farberman takes it right back behind the net at Kamholtz. Sharks through the neutral zone here. Paige Freeman once again, and she going to shoot that one just wide of the netting. Good defensive play by Callie Peterson. Loose puck back behind the net is Saunders. Drew Dykowski, one of these experienced defenders for Long Island University, forcing the tie-up. Grace Babington collected the loose puck back to Dykowski. Back up top, Knuston. Looked like she might have gone offsides. Referee says otherwise. Now Dykowski looking for a shot. Went wide. Loose puck out in front. Collected by an Eagles defender. That's Jody Rose who takes it past the red line. A few of the Eagles change off the ice. Jody Rose going to just shoot it in, but doesn't change off herself. Instead tries to play the forecheck game. Across the ice it goes. Victoria Petruska couldn't handle that one cleanly. Now Hine looks to take it the other way for post. Cameron past the red line, looking to get past the blue line, hands it off to Emma Hine. Eagles enter onsides, takes the shot, but a nice block by Knuston. Puck never got to the net. Back behind the crease once again, a wraparound try. That one easy save for Kamholtz, who I'm excited to check the numbers during the next whistle. Clara Kamholtz has been tested early and often here in the first 5 minutes of this game. Tallulah Cameron back in her own zone. Ooh, defensive zone turnover that time from the Eagles, but we're going to have a hand pass ruled against Ryan Kearns. Almost a great play from the Long Island captain, but instead we'll have a neutralized faceoff coming up. Taking a look at some of the stats so far early in this game. Well, believe it or not, only 2 shots on goal for the Eagles in this one, 1 for Long Island. And LIU's winning the faceoff battle 3-2. It's Anna Bernaire and Evelyn Laka in the circle, but actually Anna Bernaire is going to have that taken away from her. Peyton Tully instead, and Laka wins it. LIU tries to enter their zone. Eagles cut him off. Bernaire once again, now taking it behind the net of Hannah Saunders. Trying to get it to Stevens right here at the near boards. Stevens chips it out of her defensive zone. Bernaire tries to play it forward and does so. Shoots it into the O zone. Chasing after it, Peyton Tully in that far corner. Tully had it taken away from her, trying to find that pass into the slot. Now moving into the offensive zone, but just ruled offsides that time. It was Eliza Quackenbush. 14-15 left to go in this game. Looks like Brandon Brown has his team playing some great hockey as of late. Some of their best of the season so far. Got a new platoon, or got a new line in there, I should say. Maddie Noonan trying to take advantage, so Selena Makavikis. Tough angled shot, easily stopped by Kamholtz once again. Back behind the net, LIU looking to clear their defensive zone, but a good job by Ruby Mitchell to keep it in. Shoots it across the ice. Once again, Quackenbush trying to get it out of there. Finally, Laka and Quackenbush team up to do so, and they just shoot it into their O zone. Eagles go to retrieve. But so does Izzy Krause, who shows off the speed there, winning that race. Not able to set up offensive possession with it. They're trying to reset are the Sharks. The Eagles once again take over. Selena Makavikis tries to find Maddie Noonan, but that pass just left a little too strong. The Eagles look to reset back in all the way in their own defensive zone. Just under 7 minutes gone here in this first period. Still scoreless, but most of the time has been spent in the Eagles' offensive zone. LIU trying to answer back, force the defensive zone turnover, almost there, and actually Laura Nagy does. Nice play by a couple of Sharks forwards on the forecheck. Eagles have to go all the way back behind the net of Hannah Saunders, and now it just looks like they're having a bit of a tougher time exiting their zone. Jet Devlin gets it across. Selena Mikavakis. Past the red line, now past the blue line. Noah Farberman couldn't retain possession. Laura Nagy just shoots it all the way down the ice. That should be an icing, and it will be. 12:44 left to go in this one. Well, we expect this game to be a fairly low-scoring game. Taking a look at both of the netminders in this one between Clara Kamholtz for the Sharks and Hannah Saunders, both of which are top 5 in the conference in save percentage and goals against average. Also, take a look at the defensive numbers for LIU so far this year. They have the number 1 goals against average in the Newhaw this year. Actually, I should say they've allowed the least amount of goals, actually the number 2 goals against average, but the point remains. Long shot attempt from the blue line that time for the Eagles. Jody Rose collects the loose puck now in a tie-up in that near corner. Farberman comes to help her out. Sends it across, back up to the blue line. Webster tries a tough shot, but looked like it might have deflected wide of the netting. Webster couldn't retain possession. Now a possible breakaway forming for LIU. Eagles do a good job getting back quickly. Jody Rose couldn't quite handle it in that near corner, but Lily Zona right there to help her out. Now Webster back to Rose. Rose gets taken down right at the blue line. Nice play by Paige Vreeman. Addison Robillard, first time we've said her name today, just electing to shoot it in and play the possession game a little bit, trying to keep the puck on that side of the ice. Looked like she was going to get off for a change, but elected not to. Now she has it on her stick, at least she should. Drew Dykowski was a real threat last year, offensively and defensively for LIU. Having a bit of a slower season so far, but still one of those experienced defenders in all of the Newhaw this year. Riley Patfield, across for Sam Maffey. Back to Patfield. Patfield with an angle. She takes the shot, but misses up and above the net. Clara Kamholtz never had to make the save. Babington has the loose puck now, circling around and trying to find a lane to break out to. You see how heavy the Eagles go on the forecheck there. Marley Webster, Emma Hine, both in. Riley Patfield cuts that off, forcing Petruska to send it back behind her own net. Paige Vreeman couldn't handle it cleanly. Loose puck in the offensive zone, and the Eagles force the turnover. How about Emma Hine with another fantastic play? Tallulah Cameron tries to get it back to her. Kai Hyatt with a shot. That one had to be saved and poked into safety by Clara Kamholtz. Puck finally exits the offensive zone of LIU. Eagles have had some long shifts in their offensive zone here in the first period. Here's another chance. Jet Devlin with a head of steam. Stops and circles around. Now looking for somewhere to pass to. Going one against the world. Still has possession. Tries the backhanded shot, and that one got blocked down. Lauren Carl tallies the block. Callie Peterson with a long wrist shot. That one easily stopped and kicked into safety once again by Klamholtz. LIU looking to clear. Mikavakis keeps it back in. Her wrister gets blocked by, once again, it's Lauren Carl getting her body in front of it. Mikavakis going after the loose puck, gets it out to Callie Peterson. She fires away, and it blocked once again. Now coming the other way, Anya Wallen. Selena Mikavakis. Eagles trying to get right back into their offensive zone. There were some tired legs out on the ice for LIU. Finally, they're in their offensive zone. Now Ryan Kearns with a hard shot from a tough angle. And Hannah Saunders with her biggest test so far of this game makes the save at 9:41 here in the first period. Still scoreless between these two squads. Should bring us to our media timeout, and it will. 9:41, and it's 0-0 between the Sharks and the Eagles here as you're watching Post University Women's Hockey. Welcome back into the Sports Center of Connecticut. Just over halfway gone through this first period. Post out shooting LIU 6-2 early in this one, and most of the time just by the eye test has been spent in the LIU zone. Eagles trying to keep that pressure up here in the second half of this first period. Anna Bernaire through the neutral zone gets harassed by Riley Kearns. Eagles do enter the offensive zone, but immediately it's a tie-up right at the blue line. Anna Bernaire, Georgia Stevens, a couple of Sharks right in there as well. If you're Brandon Brown right now, you have to love how the early parts of this game have gone. Puck finally exits the offensive zone, and Ruby Mitchell takes possession for Post. Kicks it back to Karis Kale. Now up the ice, Anna Bernaire. You can see how the defensive strategy has changed after that latest timeout. Maybe a little bit more aggressive is LIU trying to play more physical of a game. The Eagles answer and put a little deflection on net that time, forcing Clara Klamholtz to cover up. Clara Klamholtz out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, played for the Chicago Mission. Having just a really, really good season. I wonder how much of that is helped out by her defense. Again, statistically has allowed the least goals in the entire conference this year, but at the same time, so far in this game, it's really been mostly Klamholtz. Sharks win the face-off in their own zone, send it all the way up the ice, but it actually goes on net, so it's going to prevent the icing, and good job by Grace Babington that time, forcing Hannah Saunders to cover it up with 8:44 left to go in this one. Both these teams still in a bit of a feeling out process, although, again, the Eagles seem to be doing a bit more of it so far. Back in their defensive zone, Tristan Curry along the far side. Tallulah Cameron now. Cameron has it taken away from her. There's the experience from Dykowski, forcing the turnover in her offensive zone. Around the boards it goes. Grace Babington circles, looking for a lane into the slot. Her pass didn't go there. She has it once again. Babington sends it back around the boards for Dykowski. Dykowski pivoting. Kai Hyatt trying to make a play on her defensively. Dykowski takes the shot. That went off the skate of Babington. Deflects into safety for Post University. And right now it's Marley Webster with it on her stick. She shoots it out of the defensive zone. Robillard cuts it off. Shoots it right back in. Saunders into the corner it goes. Tallulah Cameron. Under 8 left in this first period. Tristan Curry once again has it taken away from her. A good play by Laka that time for LIU. Vreeman shooting it into the far corner. The dump and chase game working out here. Quackenbush takes possession for LIU. Now circling. Back to the blue line. Quackenbush shoots it across. A little bit of miscommunication there. Looked like Kraus was cutting the other way, but she has it either way. Back to the blue line here. Kristen Kiggin stays onside, takes the shot, deflects a couple of times. Saunders had to make the save. Jody Rose handles the loose puck. Past the blue line, past the red line, now into her offensive zone. Tried a tough angled shot, easy block that time by Sam Matthew, and Matthew handles Rose into the boards hard. Boy, a big hit from Sam Matthew that time. She has it on her stick now. Kristen Kiggin at the far boards. Getting harassed once again by Tim Marie Grom. Able to shoot it out of her defensive zone, and it kicks into safety into the LIU bench. What a big hit that was from Sam Maffey. Out in the near corner, actually far corner, I should say. Face-off coming up here to the right of Clara Klamholtz. Maffey has it on her stick, but can't retain possession. Emma Hine sends it around the boards. Tim Marie Gron trying to keep it away from those Sharks. Hine has it once again, looking for a wraparound try. Now sends it back to the blue line. Maddie Noonan back to Hine. Noonan once again at the blue line. Sends it across. Lily Zoner tries the shot. That one hit Maffey. The rebound chance is loose. Puck is still loose. And boy, Clara Klamholtz had to make a tremendous save off the rebound there. Puck still in the offensive zone, only temporarily, as finally it kicks out of there. Eagles to reset. LIU to get a couple of fresh legs out on the ice. Lily Zoner. She does a nice job keeping possession, just shooting it in. Brandon Brown calling for a line change himself. So LIU going to hold on here, but immediately Post going heavy on the forecheck. And once again, those deflection passes, bank passes just aren't really working off the boards for LIU here in this game. 6:05 left to go in this first period. Still 6 shots on goal for Post University as opposed to only 3 for LIU, but compare that to 19 shots total for the Eagles and only 7 for the Sharks. Face off again to the right of Clara Kamholtz. Jody Rose loses it that time to Crosby Wildfong. Goes into the crease. Nice play by Kamholtz just to pass that one out quickly. Thought for sure she was going to cover it up. Puck deflects right past the red line, and it's going to be ruled an icing as Karis Kale touches up, and we'll have another stoppage here with 5:54. So as aforementioned back in our pregame show, the Eagles, they come into this one having swept the Merritt Parkway matchup against Sacred Heart. Both of those games, actually one of which was home, one of which was on the road, and they come in winners of 3 of their last 4. One of those wins against Stonehill. Meanwhile, LIU comes in losers of 4 of their last 5, but a win last time out. Trying to kind of turn around the trajectory of their season so far in conference play. Callie Peterson in a battle with Crosby Wildfong right here at the near boards. LIU shoots it right back in. Behind the net of Saunders it goes. Karis Kale tries to retrieve it, but Butera cuts it off instead. Stays in the offensive zone of LIU. Looks like they want a quick change in as well. Nobody there to receive that pass for the Sharks. Petruska past the red line, shoots it back in. Saunders going to touch up for post, hands it off to Callie Peterson. Some good puck movement here for the Eagles trying to re-enter the offensive zone. Anna Bernaire, she shoots it right up against the skate of an LIU defender. That being Addison Robillard. Now Wilden with it on her stick, and she takes the shot right into the body of Saunders. She covers it up with under 5 left to go in this first period. What a safety net to have back there in Hannah Saunders. Was one of the not just Newhall leaders, but NCAA leaders last year in both save percentage and goals against average. It was a little bit of a rougher start for Saunders to start the season, but as of late, she is back to her fantastic all-star ways. Puck still in her defensive zone. One-time attempt that time from Robillard off the loose puck. Shot never quite reached the net, went a little bit wide. Tully couldn't control the loose puck. Boy, it looked like she tripped up Petruska there, but nothing called, so we'll play on. Now the tie-up in the far corner. Marley Webster, Peyton Tully in there for post, but it's Paige Vreeman who comes away with it for LIU. Wilden in there to help her out. Ultimately, the Sharks do turn it over in their O zone. Ruby Mitchell tries to go the other way with it. Mitchell with a head of steam, but going to go one against the world here, taken away from her right at the blue line. The Eagles were offsides with a couple of players, so smart play by Anna Bernaire just to shoot it in and reset. McCavicus. Ooh, beautiful pass in between a couple of great defenders, and Devlin takes the shot on that one just off the side of the net. Boy, McCavicus threading the needle that time with a saucer pass right onto the stick of Jet Devlin. Fortunately, the shot attempt just didn't work out. Still with possession in the offensive zone, Noonan forced the turnover, now has it on her stick. Turns around, tries to shoot it in deep. Babington cuts it off, sends it around the boards herself for Dykowski. Now the tie-up along the far end. Ella Knuston. Another Shark went down hard a couple of feet away. McCavicus takes it away from her. Pass into the slot doesn't connect. Boy, Selena McCavicus making a few great plays in the last 60 seconds. Has it once again. Trying to get it back into her offensive zone, but LIU takes it away. Ella Knuston resets for the Sharks. Robillard through neutral ice. Once again, just the dump and chase game here for LIU, and Hannah Saunders going to play the safe route and cover it up at 3:03 left in this first period. I've said it a few times, if you're Brandon Brown, you have to like the way you've played so far. At the same time, this is an LIU team that does not allow a lot of goals, so you'd think that this actually might be the way they want to play a little bit. Imagine if you're Kelly Nash and crew, you'd be saying that you want to spend more time on this side of the ice, but either way, maybe it's a spot where LIU feels comfortable in, and they can feel a way to sneak out a win. If you're post, you want to get one past Clara Kamholtz sooner rather than later. Tie up along the near side here. Vreeman can't get possession once again. Dykowski battling for it as well. It's Riley Patfield for post, really putting pressure on defensively to not allow LIU to set up anything right now in their offensive zone. It does kick into the near corner here, back behind the net of Saunders. Hine takes over. Once again, another tie up here. And it does look like Hine will finally retain possession for the Eagles. Kicks it out to Hyatt, and here we go. Hyatt over to Riley Patfield. Patfield across the ice, intended for Emma Hine, but the pass left a little too long, and Hine couldn't quite retain possession. Clears the defensive zone of the Sharks, but Tristan Curry to touch it up once again, and Lily Zoner right here. Zoner gets around Vreeman, shoots it past the blue line, goes all the way around the boards. Timmery Grom chasing after it, but it's Schrofel who gets there first. Now under 2 minutes left in this first period, still scoreless between these Newha rivals. Maybe not for long. Milana Butera driving towards the net. The puck is still loose in the crease, and the referee blows his whistle as Hannah Saunders goes down hard in the crease. Good to see her slowly but surely getting back up to her feet. How about the speed from Milana Butera? Another one of these experienced forwards, experienced skaters for LIU, and maybe the best scoring chance on either side today belongs to the Sharks in the last couple of seconds. Saunders, good to see she's getting up all right. She took a pretty hard collision as it was a head of steam for Milana Butera. Face-off coming up to the left of Hannah Saunders. Lily Zoner with possession for Post University. Now trying to move left to right. Karis Kale. You can see right now 3 Sharks in the offensive zone defensively. So maybe Kelly Nash trying to communicate to her team a little bit. Want to go heavier on the forecheck when they can. But how about the Eagles' forecheck? Jody Rose forces the turnover. Tries a tough angled shot. Never quite hit the net. Went right through the crease. Butera once again past the blue line. Tries to shoot it up against the body of Lily Zoner, and Zoner couldn't retain possession. Instead, it's going to be her teammate, Karis Kale. Kale couldn't clear the defensive zone, but it goes right back on her stick. Talk about puck luck there, and she has it. In the offensive zone, Timmery Grom, she tried the shot, but that one missed up and above. Maddie Noonan couldn't collect the rebound, but the Sharks couldn't clear. Ooh, tough physical battle for it. Ends up going Haynes' way, and Haynes takes the shot. Kamholtz makes the save. Boy, and Kamholtz gets tackled by her own teammate there in her crease. Taking a look, trying to see the number. I believe it was Laura Nagy, one of those big defensemen for LIU. Accidentally almost took out her starting netminder. 43.6 remaining here in this first period. Got a full start on the faceoff. Of course, these two teams tomorrow will be on the island for Game 2 of this home-and-home set. But a lot to figure out before then. A lot of narrative to write until then. Still plenty of time left in this period. It looks like Victoria Petruska knows that as she takes down Emma Hain. The hand gets raised, and Petruska, who, hey, I salute the effort, trying to make an aggressive play, commits the first penalty of the night on either side. Going to be a hooking call against her with 32.9 remaining left in the period. You can tell Victoria Petruska, another one of these upperclassmen for LIU. Towards the end of the period was really just trying to maybe get a jolt of energy for her Sharks, but ended up committing the penalty, and we'll get you the power play penalty kill numbers in just a quick moment. First opportunity of the game for either side. LIU won the faceoff. Marley Webster seemed like she had an opportunity to keep it in the zone, but instead it trickles out just past her stick and out. McKavikis with 20 seconds left to go in the period. Of course, if the Eagles do not score, they'll start the second with a woman advantage. Emma Hain into the O zone. Tries to get around Paige Vreeman. Nice poke check from Vreeman instead. Selena McKavikis near the blue line. Looking for an angle. She takes the wrist shot, deflects a couple of times. Kamholtz has to make the save. Rebound is loose. I believe it hit a body, never hit Kamholtz, and that's going to do it for the period. Man, a pretty good period overall for Post University. And if you're Brandon Brown and crew, you have to be happy but not thrilled, as it's still scoreless between the Sharks and the Eagles. Overall in the period, 8 shots on goal for Post as opposed to 6 for LIU. Total shots 25-11 in favor of the home squad. Post also winning in the faceoff circle 11-8. The 2 stars so far in the first period, well, it's got to be the netminders. Hannah Saunders and Clara Kamholtz, both pitching a 0 so far through 1. So don't go anywhere, as we'll be back in just about 15 minutes here through this first intermission. It's the Sharks 0 and the Eagles 0. Welcome back into the Sports Center of Connecticut as we're just about 40 seconds away from the start of our second period of play between the Long Island University Sharks and your post-University Eagles. Here's some fans making some noise here at the rinks at Shelton. Not the best crowd we've seen all year, but certainly a good one today. Eagles stand in 5th place here so far in the new HA. Meanwhile, LIU coming into this one at 7th place. And the Eagles, they had a great first period of play overall, spending most of the time in their offensive zone, outshooting LIU 9-6, and then total shots 26-11, also winning in the face-off battle 11-8 against LIU. Of course, here in the second, they'll start this period with 1 minute and 28 seconds of a power play, thanks to the penalty assessed to actually Victoria Petruska, looks like, in the box. Selena Mikavakis, after the face-off, tries to shoot into the offensive zone. The Eagles are able to almost keep it in, I should say. Referee did call a delay offsides, and that allowed LIU to shoot it back out. So the Eagles with the woman advantage here. First opportunity for either side. Now moving right to left here in the second period. Jet Devlin with a head of steam, gets it into the offensive zone. Now circling around, gets it back up to the blue line. From Mikavakis, back across. Webster with a one-time attempt. That one right off the body of Grace Babington. A wonderful block by her, laying out and securing some safety for LIU with just about 45 seconds left to go on the woman advantage. It is Petruska in the penalty box for LIU. Devlin kicks it on back for Maddie Noonan. Now tie up right here at the blue line. And how about the penalty kill so far for LIU, not allowing a single shot on goal during this power play here in the second period. Of course, Post did get one in the first period on the power play. Just about 15 seconds, enough time maybe for one final push for the Eagles. Maddie Noonan circling around. Back to the blue line here. Karis Kale driving in, takes the shot, blocker save from Cam Holtz. Kale collects the loose puck. All the way back up towards the blue line here. And we're back at even strength between these two teams. Post going 0 for 1 as Noah Farman takes the shot. That one saved. Karis Kale with the rebound chance. And that one just misses the net. Back up towards the blue line. Eagles retaining possession. Lily Zoner looking for a deflection. Deflects a few times. And here's a tie-up and a couple of extracurriculars here between these two squads. And Kara Klamholtz having to make a couple of tremendous saves as we take a look on our replay. Overall, the Eagles have looked good on the power play so far, and they've gotten great opportunities in their offensive zone. As you can see, set up the screen, set up a couple of different plays, but Post University just not able to find the back of the net so far. 8 minutes, 15 seconds left to go. Still in their offensive zone. They win the faceoff. Karis Kale driving, taking the shot, hit a couple of bodies, loose puck out in front, backhanded try from Kale. And I don't believe any of them hit the net. I think those were all LIU defenders putting their bodies on the line and getting in front of the pucks. Now going the other way on the counterattack, it's Laura Nagy. She has it taken away from her, kicked back behind the net of Hannah Saunders. Looking for a pass into the slot. Knuston with a slap shot. And how about the Eagles responding that time? Maddie Noonan, actually Georgia Stevens laying her body on the line, getting the block, but we do have a whistle here right at center ice. Looks like Knuston might be getting escorted off for another penalty. Yeah, it looks like that is, in fact, what's going to be happening. So we have a hooking call on Ella Knuston just about 2 minutes and 16 seconds into this second period. And with basically zero chance for a breather whatsoever, the Eagles will go right back onto their power play. Post this is an area where they're really looking to improve so far this year. Their power play only converting at 9.5%. Second worst in the new HA this year. Meanwhile, penalty kill also second worst for LIU, only stopping them at 74% of the time. For Lily Zoner at the blue line, back to Farman, now Zoner. Looking for a lane, stop, circles. Jody Rose, Zoner. Karis Kale. Back to Jody Rose at the far end. She shoots one into the slot, went off an LIU defender. Kale controls the rebound. Circling around towards the net. Now drop passes for Farberman. Farberman back towards the middle. She tries the shot. That one went off the body of Sam Matthey. And Lily Zoner gets taken down. Nice play by Grace Babington defensively as the puck exits the blue line. Eagles shoot it right back in, but there to collect is Kristen Kiggin. She tries to clear the zone. Farbman isn't able to keep it in, and Newton will have to reset for post. 1:15 left to go on the Eagles' second woman advantage of the game. Kicks back out, Selena Mikavakis. Eagles look like they're going for a new unit out there on the power play. Emma Hind now into the game. Jet Devlin. Right now, Eagles having a hard time just getting towards the middle of the ice, even with the woman advantage right now. See if Emma Hain can turn that around. As she's driving towards the net, she takes the shot, and Cam Holt's right there to make another save. Boy, how about Emma Hain? Transfer over from Lindenwood, originally from Maple Grove, Minnesota. Having a tremendous season right now for Post University and gives them their best chance on the power play so far. It's Devlin in the circle for Post. Vreenman, actually Ryan Kearns, I should say, wins that one for LIU. But it kicks around the boards and kept in by Marley Webster. A little over 30 seconds left to go on the power play. LIU trying to clear defensively. Nice play by Mikavakis to keep it in. Now Devlin. Devlin back to Mikavakis up at the blue line, who leaves it for Hine. Hine with a cross-ice pass. Nice setup and a beautiful shot. Rebound chance. They score! Jet Devlin buries it home for Post, and they take a 1-0 lead. For Jet Devlin, her third goal of the season. And the junior from St. Albert, Alberta, gets the Eagles a 1-0 lead and might be able to see some of these Sharks trying to give Clara Kamholtz a little bit of some love taps here. She's played a fantastic game in net, made a tremendous diving save the first time around. But as you can see, Devlin was in perfect position there to just bury it home for the Eagles. Now working with a 1-0 lead, Brandon Brown and crew, trying to win their fourth of their last 5 games and move up the Newhouse standings. Obviously, not even halfway through this one yet. And LIU trying to respond. They take a long shot from the blue line. And Hannah Saunders, her first real test of the period, and she answers it successfully. The shot coming off the stick of Addison Robillard. So let's see who can step up here for LIU offensively. Now that the Eagles have broken through, the defense definitely the strength for the Sharks. Now, as we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, they lost many of their top scorers from last year's team that found them atop the Newhouse standings. We'll see if one of these skaters can step up for the visiting team here. 15:25 left to go in this second period. Tie up in the far corner. Wilden in there for LIU, and she comes away with it. Almost for a second, but Kai Hyatt right there to take it away from her, and we have another tie-up behind Saunders' net. Puck kicks free, goes out into the far corner, now back behind the net of Saunders, and it does look like the Eagles will take over possession here, but that's going to be an icing. Karis Kale sends it all the way down the ice, and with 15:02, we'll have yet another stoppage. Remember talking with Coach Brandon Brown before the season started, and he talked about how he wanted some of these younger players to step up and some of the players transitioning from under to upperclassmen. Well, Jet Devlin is one of those, now a junior, who had a pretty good year last year. Maybe wasn't shown on the stat sheet, but was all over the ice. And this year already has 5 points, now her third goal of the season, and a huge one for the Eagles right now, trying to continue the momentum they've built in the last couple of weeks. Oh, how about the opportunity? And the pass left just a little too long for Drew Dykowski. Otherwise, it would have been her against Saunders and no one else in between. She circles around, though. Pass across, beautifully set up for Babington. She takes the shot, and that one deflects up and over the netting after going off the body. Believe it was Timmery Grom laying it on the line that time. Little over 14 and a half minutes left to go in this second period. And you're starting to see the response here from LIU. In the second period, Post outshooting them 7-1 total, but the shots on goal 1-0. Actually, that is shots on goal, excuse me. Shots total is 11-2. Emma Morrill, one of the first times we've said her name, handed it off to Grace Babington. Now Babington had it taken away from her. Callie Peterson right there to take it away. She has it on her stick once again. Peterson connects with Tully, but that one is turned over, and now Vreenman. Vreenman at the circle, driving to the net, takes the shot, goes off the shoulder of Hannah Saunders. Off the boards, and Long Island retains possession. Babington circling. Pass into the slot. Nobody home to receive it, but kept in the offensive zone at the blue line. Kicks all the way around the boards. Babington once again back out here. And a long shot deflects a couple of times and scores! LIU answers right back. It's now 1-1. And Paige Freeman gets the tally for the Sharks on the deflection. For Freeman, her team leading 5th goal of the season. And we talked about it. Those Sharks, they lost some offensive prowess, but Freeman, who only had 2 goals all of last year as a junior, now tallies her 5th so far this season. And it's a brand new game, 1-1 with 14 minutes left in this one. How about the second period so far between these two squads? Quick face-off, Wild shoots it right back in. Now the Sharks have a little bit of some renewed life here in the middle period. Tallulah Cameron trying to take it away. Maddie Noonan with a head of steam and a possible 2-on-2 sends it across for Devlin, and that one got a piece of the glove of Clara Kamholtz. Devlin once again, her shot gets deflected up into the boards. Nice play defensively from Robillard, and now Weiland almost clears the zone, and she does just get it past the blue line. Weiland going to shoot it past the other blue line into the far corner where Emma Hine will pick it up. Hine, bang pass, moving it along the ice. Noah Farbman handles the hit that time. What a play. Actually, that was Jet Devlin standing up the hit from Victoria Petruska, and then Robillard lays the body on Devlin following it up. You can hear some of the fans giving their opinions on that hit. LIU trying to clear the zone. It goes actually into the bench of Post University, and therefore the faceoff is going to stay in the offensive zone of the Eagles. With 12:49 left to go in the second period. Boy, some fans entered the building in between the first and the second period, and you can hear them making some noise trying to cheer on the Eagles. And I'm going to say it, I think it makes a difference. I really does. I really do. Face off to the left of Kamholtz. Kicks around the boards. LIU wins it. Alana Butera trying to get it out of there, and she does. Sam Matthew across the ice. Now enters her offensive zone. Shoots it into the corner. Butera tries the rebound chance, but misses the net up and above. Back behind the net, Hannah Saunders. Eagles looking to break out, trying the long up-ice pass for Timmerie Grom. Maybe a bit ill-advised. Grom looked covered there. Kristen Kigan now has it for LIU. Kigan was able to kick it forward to Wildfong. Now Jody Rose trying to take it away from her. Wildfong and Rose in an aggressive play, and the hand gets raised as a tripping penalty gets called here. Kamholtz was halfway to her net before the Eagles were able to touch it up. Let's take a look who goes to the box. It's going to be Jody Rose heading off to the penalty box, which gives LIU their first power play opportunity of the game. Jody Rose, now her 7th penalty of the season in her 14th minute. Last year, remember, she had the second most penalties on the team and was top 10 in the conference in that area, so something Brandon Brown has been looking to fix up a little bit, but the Eagles on the penalty kill do a great job of just clearing the zone and killing some time off that clock here. How about Georgia Stevens with an aggressive play? Now the Eagles still being aggressive on the forecheck, even down a woman here. Forced the turnover at neutral ice. Kai Hyatt trying to continue that against Addison Robillard. Georgia Stevens in there to help her out as well, and the puck is tied up. Minute 30 left to go on the power play for LIU. So far this year, by the way, LIU at 17.1% with the woman advantage. The Eagles with the lowest ranked penalty kill in the conference at 72.3%. It's been a little bit better in the last couple of weeks or so, and when the Eagles have successful penalty kills, they usually aren't in positions like this, allowing them to get set up in the offensive zone. They usually try to stop it at neutral ice. Grace Babington circling around, finding some space, sends it across, one-time chance, what a save! Oh my goodness, a beautiful save from Hannah Saunders, keeps this game even at 1-1. Georgia Stevens able to get it past the blue line and give the Eagles a little bit of breathing room on this penalty kill, but Hannah Saunders with the highlight of the day, finding a way to just go across the crease and stop that one with her blocker. Eagles once again trying to prevent LIU from getting set up in the offensive zone. Callie Peterson gets tied up in that near corner. Looked like Karis Kale got tripped down, but no hand gets raised. Puck trickles behind the net of Saunders once again, and LIU has possession. Looking for a pass across. Grace Babington handles it down, now circles around. Right at the circle, back up top for Schroeffel. Babington goes off for a change. This is now Mortal. Dykowski. Back up top, Mortal tries the wrist shot, goes right into the body of Timmery Grom. Puck still loose, and battling for it is Grom and Schroeffel wins that one in the offensive zone. Back to even strength between these two teams. Under 10 to go, shot goes wide off the side of the net. Battle for it behind the net of Hannah Saunders. Now Dykowski. Boy, a long time in the offensive zone for LIU here. Some tired legs defensively for the Eagles. Dykowski driving towards the net, and that shot had to get saved by Hannah Saunders. Schroeffel once again, her attempt gets blocked. Eagles finally able to get it just past the blue line. Now have a long way to go. None of the Eagles were able to get off for a change. Callie Peterson goes to retrieve the loose puck. And now Karis Kale trying to slow things down for Post University. Under 9:30 left, puck does trickle all the way back into the defensive zone. No icing will be called, and all 5 skaters get off and onto the bench for Post. Emma Hain right at the near boards, tried to take it away from an LIU forward. Riley Patfield right there to intercept the pass. Patfield takes it into the offensive zone herself, now tries the shot, but that one stopped by Vreeman. Eagles get the rebound. Kai Hyatt didn't see an open Emma Hain. Lily Zoner tried a shot, went off a LIU defender. Nice block by Dykowski. Under 9 minutes left. Here in this middle period, trickles back to Kara Klamholtz behind her own net. After what was a really tremendous 0-for-1 power play for LIU. Now they have possession in their offensive zone again. They've really seemed to just snatch momentum in the last couple of minutes or so. See if the Eagles can try to grab it back. Not able to clear the defensive zone that time. That long shot from the blue line off the stick of Addison Robillard and right into the chest of Hannah Saunders. I want to take a look at this replay from earlier. I believe this is the beautiful Hannah Saunders save as she was just diving across the crease. It was a tremendous setup from LIU as well. But Saunders with the highlight of the day. That's going to keep it at 1-1 into our media timeout with 8:09 left to go in the second period. So don't go anywhere as you're watching Post University Women's Hockey. Welcome back to the Sports Center of Connecticut here in Shelton in a tie game between the Sharks and Eagles at 1 apiece. It was Jet Devlin getting the Eagles on the board first. LIU answered right back only a couple of minutes later. And now let's see who gets this ice-breaking goal. See if anyone can get it here in the middle period. Georgia Stevens trying to be the one as she takes a shot. Actually went off the body of Sam Matthey and almost went into the netting, but will play on. LIU takes over in their own defensive zone. Milana Butera racing after that one, trying to prevent the icing there. No can do, says the linesman, and we'll have an icing with 7:43 left to go in this period. Of course, the LIU goal here in the second, scored by Emma Mortal. Official assist comes in for Drew Dykowski, and Drew Dykowski only, by the way. You know, for the Eagles, it's Jet Devlin, and they're calling it unassisted as of right now. Might see the assist numbers come in just a moment. Under 8 left to go. LIU wins that faceoff. Addison Robillard with possession in her own zone and with a head of steam through neutral ice. Gets past the red line, tries to shoot it in, but the Eagles, actually it was the referee who cut it off accidentally. LIU, no harm, no foul for right now, though. Wildfong able to just chip it into the zone. Battling against Marley Webster. Pass right into the slot. Butera with a beautiful chance. And Saunders with another tremendous save. Boy, how does that happen defensively? If you're Post University, Butera all alone with a grade A chance. Shot it right into the chest of Saunders. Eagles clear their zone. Jody Rose now almost able to get by one of the defenders. Hands get raised. And we'll have another power play coming up for Post University as Rose was tripped up on what looked to be a possible breakaway. And Sam Mathey is going to go to the penalty box for a tripping. Third penalty of the game. Assessed to Long Island University. Of course, Post 1 for 2 so far in this game. LIU 0 for 1. Talked about it. Power play percentage, both the special teams numbers, really something you're looking to improve if you're Post. Already doing so far today, and it's been a good trend as of late. Has helped them out, and there are 3 wins in their last 4 matchups. Lily Zoner past the blue line for the Eagles. 20 seconds gone on the woman advantage. Penalty assessed to Sam Mathey for tripping. Karis Kale tries the long shot from the blue line. That one off the body of, I believe, Emma Mortal, actually the goal scorer. And the Eagles have to reset all the way back in their own zone. Noonan sends it across the ice. Karis Kale going up against Paige Vreeman, gets past the blue line, sends it back out. Rose with a great shot. Kick saving a beauty that time from Cam Holtz. Puck loose out at the blue line, and it does get past the blue line. Maddie Noonan to reset for Post. Just about halfway through the third power play opportunity of the day for Post University. Third power play opportunity of the period for these Eagles. Webster across, one-time attempt for Hine, and that one hit another body. Boy, these LIU defenders in perfect position all day long. There's another example of it as Paige Vreeman gets the block, clears the zone, and some more time ticks off here as there's only 45 seconds left to go. Jet Devlin already has the goal to her name today. Trying to enter the zone. Nice play defensively from Kiggin. Devlin trying to keep it in, but couldn't do so as Knuston forced it out. Now Butera, short-handed, gets it into her offensive zone, going one against the world. Fanned on the shot. Saunders to cover it up. No, Saunders to let it go. And we'll play on here. 17 seconds left to go on the power play for the Eagles. Emma Hain past the blue line. Stopping on a dime, looking for a lane to either pass or shoot to. Now back to the blue line. Circling around, finds Lily Zoner. 5 seconds left to go. For Hain once again, her shot deflects wide of the netting, and we're back to even strength. 1 for 3 on the power play. Go the Eagles. Both these teams looking to improve both of their special teams numbers. The Eagles have done it so far today. Of course, LIU going to look to do the same. Under 5 minutes left to go here in this second period. Vreeman said her name so many times today, making multiple plays offensively and defensively. Bank pass to herself, gets it back behind the net of Saunders. Taken away from her by Lily Zoner. Looks like Drew Dykowski's going to win the race for the loose puck. Actually, that's Babington. Babington, once again, back behind the net. Finds Dykowski back to the blue line here for Maffey, just out of the penalty box, looking for a deflection, and it was deflected. Boy, Babington deflected that right onto the net of Saunders, and I don't know how Saunders saw it. Maffey, once again, she tries a shot. That time, Timmerie Grom got her stick in the way of it, and it goes out of play with 4:04 left to go in this middle period. Boy, what a second period it has been. Total stats for the game so far. Eagles out shooting the Sharks 18-14. They're winning in the faceoff circle 19-14. And of course, Post, it's 1 for 3 on the power play. Meanwhile, LIU 0 for 1. Post doing a great job of staying out of the box so far today. It's been a sour spot of the season this year, but if they can keep doing this, they'll have a much better chance at securing the game-winning goal. Emma Hain with under 4 minutes left to go, back towards the blue line. That shot from Brenaire went off another post. Sharks defender, I should say. Paige Vreeman just not enough speed to get back in front of Emma Hain. Almost a breakaway opportunity, but the Eagles take it away instead. 30 3 minutes and 30 left. Tie up in that far corner, Eagles defensive zone. Stevens has it now. Back out for Hain. Hain to slow it down, try to set up a breakout play. Anna Bernaire, the woman far up the ice for Post University. Has it taken away from her as she was trying to receive the pass. Now Wilden in her offensive zone, working against Peterson. Circling at the slot post. Long shot attempt, easy save that time for Hannah Saunders. Shot off the stick of Emma Mortal. Boy, tough collision into the near boards. Goes all the way around. Wilden to collect the loose puck once again. 2:52 left to go in the period. Eagles able to clear the defensive zone that time. LIU going to be forced to reset. And after a fairly long shift defensively, the Eagles get a couple of fresh legs out there. Schroeffel with it. Long up ice pass. Wilden receives it well. Now across. Petruska tries the shot but couldn't handle it cleanly. Almost looked like she whiffed on the shot. Easy save that time for Saunders. Back out, Peyton Tully. She moves it forward for the Eagles. And the Eagle and a Shark go hard into the boards together. A little bit of less action here in the last couple of seconds. Eagles trying to change that around. Quick shot at the blue line for Selena Mikavicus. Easily stopped that time from Cam Holtz. And we have another stoppage with 2:11 left to go. Boy, after the Eagles really kind of dominated that first period, maybe not on the stat sheet, but definitely in terms of the eye test and in terms of time of possession, it's been a much more evenly played game here in the second. 10 shots on goal for LIU as opposed to 9 for the Eagles. So they're trying to change it around. Loose puck out in front. Devlin gets the great shot, and Cam Holtz gets the great save. Boy, a beautiful, messy play for Post University right off the draw. But Cam Holtz keeping her head on a swivel and keeps it at 1-1 with 2:05 left to go. Another face-off here to the left of Cam Holtz. LIU wins it cleanly that time. Butera gets it past the blue line. But the Eagles do send it right back in. That's more of their style of play in the last couple of weeks. That possession style, just trying to keep the puck on this end. Crosby Wildfong tries a tough angled shot, maybe an intended pass, but it ended up on goal. And another easy save for Hannah Saunders. She covers it up in her own end at 1:39 left to go. Looks like both sides going to get a fresh 5 out there. Schroeffel and Mortal defensively, the goal scorer for LIU. Babington, Dykowski, and Paige Freeman. Maybe their most productive line this year. Actually, definitely their most productive line this year for LIU. Kelly Nash. Puck goes all the way down to the other side, and that'll be an icing with 1:30 left to go in this period. Of course, Brandon Brown in his first season as interim head coach of Post University. Kelly Nash in her 4th season as the LIU head coach. Kelly Nash, always love to say it when she's in town, a proud alumni as well as myself of the University of Wisconsin. Paige Freeman, she tries a turnaround shot, puck loose out in front of the crease of Saunders, but don't know if any of them hit the net, rather a bunch of Eagles defenders. Puck still in the offensive zone for LIU, but Emma Hain has it on her stick, taken away from her. Nice play by Drew Dykowski. Dykowski sends it across, and her shot gets blocked. Now, one-time attempt. Looked like Dykowski just fanned on it. No post-Eagle defender was even in the area. Now the Eagles go the other way, trying to counterattack here. Riley Patfield with 55 seconds left to go in this second period. LIU unable to clear. Karis Kale keeping it in, but the pass left just a little too long for Patfield. And now the Sharks go the other way with it. Dykowski right at the blue line with a possible 2-on-1 forming, but Karis Kale did a great job to get back for the Eagles and prevent anything from forming. Babington once again, right at the neutral zone, able to enter the offensive zone and then eventually just shoves Noah Farbman right into the boards. Don't know if any refs saw it because otherwise usually that is a penalty. Paige Freeman tried to dance around a couple of defenders. Now the slap shot off the loose puck. An easy save that time for Hannah Saunders. Taking a look at the number, it was Addison Robillard who gets the tally for LIU. Just about 16.8 left to go in this period. It was scoreless entering the period, now tied up at 1 apiece, most likely leaving it unless either team can get a big momentum swing in the next couple of seconds. LIU trying to retain possession off the draw, and they do. Long shot from Petruska goes off the stick of a post defender. Karis Kale with 5 seconds left up the ice for Farberman. And that's going to do it here in the middle period of play. What a period it was between these two teams. It started for the Eagles and Jet Devlin getting the goal off the loose puck. Really nothing Clara Camels could do about that. And right after a beautiful save from Hannah Saunders, for the Sharks, it was Emma Mortal with the tally to even it up at 1 apiece. Don't go anywhere as we have a great third period in store for you in just about 15 minutes. It's the Eagles 1 and the Sharks 1 here on Post University Women's Hockey. Welcome back to the Sports Center of Connecticut as we're just about 30 seconds away from getting this third and potentially final period of play underway between the Long Island University Sharks and your Post University Eagles. All tied up at 1 apiece heading into this third period. What a fun, really second period it was. Started with Jet Devlin burying home a rebound chance with a wide open net to bury it in. Nothing Clara Kamholtz could do in net for LIU. That put the Eagles up 1-0, but only a little over a minute later for LIU, it was Drew Dykowski tallying the goal herself, assisted by Emma Mortal. That was changed, actually. It was the other way around, and Grace Babington on that play. So in between periods, goal gets changed. The tally from Emma Mortal goes instead to Drew Dykowski, and we're all tied up at 1 apiece. The puck is dropped, and we're underway here in Shelton for the third. Thanks so much for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. The Sharks won the face-off, shoot it into their offensive zone, and Lily Zoner collects and tries to break out for post. Boy, an Eagle gets taken down behind her own net. Nothing called, and we'll play on. You can see LIU aggressive on the forecheck here to start this third period. The Eagles almost able to clear the zone, but it looked like the puck just kind of died in some wet ice there past the blue line. Happened a few weeks ago here in Shelton. Hasn't been an issue so far today. Let's see if that remains the case. Babington sends it across. Drew Dykowski into the offensive zone. Devlin tries to chip it away and does prevent the shot from Vreenan, but she gets it into the slot and almost a great chance for Dykowski, but she couldn't handle it cleanly. Across the blue line it goes. Robillard takes the shot right into the chest of Hannah Saunders, who had to fight through one, maybe two screens that time. And with 19:08 left to go, we have our first stoppage here in this third period. Boy, this game started as in somewhat dominating fashion for Post University. Again, not necessarily on the stat sheet, but you could see it in time of possession and just how much time in the first period they were spending in the offensive zone. But LIU came back and really made it an evenly played game through the second. We'll see if either side can take an advantage here in the third. Nice kick pass that time from Tim-Marie Grom. Karis Kale gets it in the offensive zone. Stops on a dime. Tough angled shot saved by Kamholtz. Ryan Kearns comes the other way with it for the Sharks. Tries to bank pass forward and gets it to Petruska. Now back to Kearns into the offensive zone. Now Wilden picks it up. The loose puck sends it around the boards. Karis Kale to retrieve for the Eagles. Kale gets around the forecheck. Noah Farbman chips it high into the air, trying to allow the Eagles to get possession at neutral ice, and Jody Rose does just that. Not able to carry it into the offensive zone, however, has it taken away from her by Petruska, and then Curry takes it away. She takes a bouncing shot. That one gobbled up and covered into safety by Clara Kamholtz with 8:15 left in this third period of play. Take a look at the total game stats here between these two squads. 21 shots on goal for both the Sharks and the Eagles, but Post outshooting them total 50-25, or 35, I should say. Of course, on the power play, Eagles, they're 1 for 3. Sharks 0 for 1 in this one. And the Sharks are winning the face-off battle, actually losing the face-off battle now 19-23. Long shot from the blue line, doesn't ever reach the net. Many block shots from Sharks defenders today as Butera with a head of steam just lost handle of the puck there. Now Riley Patfield through neutral ice. Patfield going up against Maffey, tries the bank pass to herself, and looks like she's going to win that race back behind the net of Kamholtz. Rest of her teammates change off. Patfield gets taken down to the ice hard. Puck loose right at the blue line, exit the offensive zone of Post, but Emma Hine to collect and reset. Little over 2.5 gone here in this third period. Defensive zone turnover for the Eagles, almost scary. Alana Butera elects just to send it in deep. LIU still with possession, pass into the slot. Now here's an opportunity for Mortal, but she just misses the net. Boy, Mortal was able to have a running start onto that puck, but overall was not able to force Hannah Saunders to make a save, and loose puck ends up going right back into the crease of Saunders, so she'll cover it up here with a little under 3 minutes gone. Taking a look at the blocked shot totals in this game, and yeah, it's pretty much what I was expecting. 18 blocks from LIU defenders so far in this one. Meanwhile, only 8 for Post, but a lot of that is the product of how many shots there have been in this game from Post as opposed to the Sharks. McKavakis across the ice for Noonan. Noonan just sends it into the offensive zone deep. Lisa Schrofel sends it around the boards for LIU. Now finds Izzy Kraus. Kraus tries the bang pass up the ice. Look at the speed that time from Quackenbush. She tries the quick shot from a tough angle, tried to sneak it through the legs of Saunders, and Hannah Saunders was having none of it. Mortal to reset as she just lost possession of it right at the blue line. Ends up going right to Izzy Kraus for LIU. Kraus trying to work around Karis Kale, couldn't do so. Now Makavakis the other way, Maddie Noonan. Noonan, she takes the shot. That one sticked into the boards by Cam Holtz. Thought it was sticked into the netting and we were going to have a stoppage, but the refs say play on. Long bouncing shot that time from the blue line. Gets intercepted by a couple of Sharks defenders, and now they move right to left. They're somewhat iconic now, light blue and yellow uniforms. Robillard almost able to keep it in her offensive zone. Instead, Timmery Grom takes it away from her. Now a race for that loose puck back in the defensive zone of post. Eagles able to play it forward. Noah Farbman almost able to take it away, but Babington gives it into the slot for Dykowski with the backhanded try, and Saunders right there to make another save. But boy, in this third period, feels like it's going the other way now, and LIU has a whole bunch of momentum trying to get the go-ahead goal. Just over 4 minutes gone here in the third. Get a good look at the replay of that recent attempt. It was a good backhanded try. Quick shot off the draw that time from Dykowski, and another good save from Hannah Saunders. As our replay comes to a close, and we have another stoppage here. So another face-off coming up, and we'll see if they run that same play. Wouldn't be a bad idea for Kelly Nash. Another face-off, another win for LIU. Knuston with a tough angle try. That one never hit the netting. Got stopped right in the crease by a post defender. Now the Eagles trying to counterattack the other way. Babington going after the loose puck, getting manhandled by Noah Farbman. Jody Rose lays a big hit on a LIU defender in the corner. Once again, nothing called, and we'll play on. Battle for it right at this red line. Babington takes over for the Sharks. Now a bank pass up for Vreeman. Vreeman going against Cameron, back for Babington, but the pass left a little bit behind her. Puck is still loose in the LIU offensive zone, but Kai Hyatt finds Emma Hain, and now Post trying to get it the other way for what feels like one of the first times in the period. Momentum, it's a finicky thing, and right now, LIU has it. Grom shoots it all the way into the deep end. No icing, as the referees say she was past the red line. I think maybe the Sharks were expecting it there. Instead, into the offensive zone goes Karis Kale. Kale has it chipped away from her, but her teammate's right there to back her up. Quick shot, quick save from Cam Holtz. Kale has it once again. Sends it around the boards, but nobody home to collect the pass that time. Sam Maffey now for LIU. Moves it forward. Anya Wallen tries the bang pass. Looked like it came off her stick funny. Karis Kale ties her up in that near corner, and Kale takes it away, forces the turnover. Tristan Curry couldn't clear the zone. Now here's an opportunity for the Sharks as Wallen tries the backhanded try. Oh, a beautiful chance for Petruska, and it just goes off the post. Coming the other way, one-time chance, a beautiful save from Hannah Saunders, and Riley Patfield gets the loose puck. Boy, Anya Wilden with 6 feet of open net to shoot at, and Hannah Saunders, another beautiful sliding save to deny the go-ahead goal. LIU resetting back behind their own netminder's net now. Post able to just force the easy turnover that time, and after what felt like a lot of momentum, a little bit of a slow and catch-your-breath moment here in this game. Just under 7 minutes gone. Makavakis forces the offensive zone turnover. Pass into the slot, but left just a little bit behind a cutting Rose. Lily Zoner, she tries the shot. That one got blocked. Maddie Noonan able to gather the loose puck. Now across, another great shot, and it looked like Anna Bernaire that time was denied by Clara Camels. Maddie Noonan once again. Boy, she is all over the loose pucks tonight, the captain of these Eagles, as Marley Webster tries it yet again, and another sliding, diving stop by a Sharks defender. 13 minutes to go here in this third period. Lily Zoner chips it forward and allows some of her teammates to get off the ice. LIU to reset and looking to break out. Laura Nagy was in good position up the ice, but had it taken away from her. Peyton Tully trying to gather. LIU to reset things. Nagy once again. Battling with Callie Peterson and Peyton Tully, two of these freshmen who are making big differences for Post this year. Another new face, but one that has become very familiar in the minds of Eagles fans, and it's Emma Hanuus. Maybe be the difference maker today if she can find a way to find the back of the net. Drew Dykowski gets around a couple of defenders into the slot, but just misses the net on a backhanded try. Boy, Drew Dykowski with one of the better opportunities here in this third period, but Georgia Stevens trying to answer back for the Eagles as she takes the shot. That one stick saved up into the netting, bounces around a bunch of times, and Clara Kamholtz has to do a little interpretive dance in the crease there to find the puck and ultimately comes away with it with 12:03 left to go in this period. Boy, both these teams have picked up the energy here in this third. Couple of fresh lines out there. Jody Rose in the circle for post. It's Babington for the Sharks. And now Paige Freeman after the faceoff win for LIU. She chips it forward. Babington racing after it. Good job by Karis Kale just to box out Babington and win that battle for an icing. Forces the faceoff to go all the way back to the other end of the ice. Taking a look at some of the third period stats here. LIU outshooting the Eagles 7-4 on goal and 11-10 total. Face-off wise, they're also winning in the face-off circle 5-2. So big part of the reason why LIU has been able to shift momentum here in the third has to be that face-off circle total. Looked like Babington was getting kicked out of the circle. Instead, it's a tie-up here between Rose and Grace. And looks like Jody Rose wins it. Tries the quick shot off the draw. Believe it hit a body of an LIU defender once again, not Kamholtz. And now Babington, one of the top scorers in the entire conference and the leading scorer on the team, tries to go one against the world, but Karis Kale and Timmery Grom team up to take it away from her. 11 minutes, 30 seconds left in this third period, all tied up at one apiece. Both goals scored in the middle period of play. LIU resetting back in their own zone. Post getting a fresh line out there. Pass goes all the way into that far corner. Cameron gives it off to Karis Kale. And now Riley Patfield couldn't quite handle it cleanly, but referees say it was chipped, so no icing. As Evelyn Laka goes back to retrieve. Boy, long up ice pass. Marley Webster with an aggressive defensive play, and it almost cost the Eagles, but instead no harm, no foul, and LIU to reset. Try to send it farther up the ice. Webster now has it on her stick. Riley Patfield chips it farther ahead into the offensive zone. Kai Hyatt racing after it. LIU wins that race, however, and now they try to send it up the ice. Izzy Kraus couldn't quite handle the pass cleanly. Race for it behind the netting, and referees ruled that as not icing, which is, wow, something I haven't seen in a long time there. They say that Quackenbush was quick enough to not, to reverse the icing, I should say. Patfield unable to clear the zone for the Eagles, and now it's tied up here. Quackenbush, Matthew. Izzy Kraus right there for LIU. Marley Webster's in there for the Eagles. Patfield as well, but it goes Kraus's way. Kraus back behind the net as Saunders has it taken away from her. Good play from Georgia Stevens, and the Eagles are able to just get it all the way down the ice. Doesn't look like it's going to be quick enough for an icing. Are you? I'm a little bit annoyed by that. Because if you take a look at this replay, and we'll try to pull it up, you can see whoever the LIU defender was taking the longest route possible. Oh, actually, it looks like our replay system might be down, unfortunately. Unfortunate. LIU defender, it's a smart play from her. She took the longest route possible to that puck, which allowed it to be an icing, but referee should probably say otherwise, typically speaking. We're under 10 minutes to go here in this third period. Still tied up at one apiece. LIU wins the offensive zone faceoff. Ryan Kearns back behind the net of Saunders. Kearns and Mitchell battling for it. It ends up going LIU's way. Petruska with a tough angled shot. Easy save that time for Hannah Saunders. 9:40 left. Wilden has it on her stick. Looking for a lane to pass to, or just any type of clear space. Sends it back behind the net. Great opportunity, and they score! Victoria Petruska gives LIU the lead. It's 2-1. Boy, almost lulling them to sleep were the Sharks that time around. As Wilden and Petruska, everyone was focusing on Anya Wilden on one side of Hannah Saunders. As you can take a look, Wilden going back behind Hannah Saunders just finds Petruska on the other side, and Petruska just able to sneak it behind the netminder of Saunders on the backhanded try. And that gives LIU the lead. The Sharks looking to get the goal that time. Looking to get the puck, I should say, for Victoria Petruska. And, well, that's because it's her first goal of this season. Her 4th overall point, but her first one that reaches the back of the net. And she's a junior, but she didn't score any goals last year, so I think and I believe it's the first goal of her career. Either way, we'll take a look. It was a very nicely handled goal, I should say, by Petruska as well, and it gives the Sharks a 1-0 lead. See how the Eagles can respond here. What has been a very evenly played game, but LIU has snatched up momentum here in the third. Addison Robillard back behind her own net, gets tied up by a couple of Eagles forwards. Marley Webster in there trying to shake that puck loose for Post University. Under 9 minutes to go here in this third period. Knuston sends it up the ice for the Sharks. And maybe an ill-advised pass that time from the goal scorer, Petruska, as she sent it right into the stick of Emma Hain. Hain going one against the world, tries the shot, goes off the body. Puck is still loose and stays in the offensive zone as Farbman gathers it up. Farbman goes down to the ice hard a couple of different times, and there's a couple of post forwards who go down to the ice, but nothing gets called, and we'll play on here. LIU looking to break out, and they do. Going up the ice, it's Izzy Kraus. Kraus, a 2-on-1 forming, and a great opportunity, great save, rebound chance, they score! This time it is at Emma Mortal. And just like that, it's 3-1 LIU. Boy, a couple of great individual efforts and a couple of great selfless plays from these LIU forward and defenders. A couple of good assists, and overall, Emma Mortal just buries it back behind the netting. We thought that Mortal had the goal earlier in the game. In between periods, it got changed over to Drew Dykowski. Well, no doubt about it that time around. Emma Mortal tallying her 2nd of the year. All of a sudden, the job gets that much harder for Brandon Brown and this Eagle squad here on home ice. Only 8 minutes to go, but they have it once again in their offensive zone. And let's see, if they want to score, they got to do it sooner than later to have any chance at staying in this game. Tie up in that far corner, and as we've mentioned a couple times throughout this broadcast, it isn't really the offense of LIU, it's their defense that stands out, at least statistically. Not an easy team to score on. We'll see if that can remain true for Kelly Nash and the Sharks in the final 7:30. They're back in their offensive zone. Long shot, easy save from Hannah Saunders. Jody Rose sends it around the boards. Looks like Ruby Mitchell will retrieve it for Post. Mitchell gets handled hard into the boards. Now the tie-up right in front of where she was hit. Jody Rose comes away with it for Post University. A couple of Eagles get off the ice. LIU might try to catch them into change, but I don't know if any of the Sharks really saw it. It was a risky change that time from Brandon Brown, but works out. Sam Matthey enters the offensive zone on sides. Webster retrieves it for the Eagles, but immediately a pretty good play from Vreeman. Now Vreeman kicks it back out. Shot doesn't quite reach the netting. Vreeman once again. And that time a great sliding block from Jody Rose defensively. Another block shot, and this time who else? It was Jody Rose once again. 6:30 left to go here in this third period. Boy, dangerous pass that time in front of her own crease, and now a turnover. Jet Devlin tried to send it into the slot, but nobody was home to retrieve it. Back out, and the Eagles reset at neutral ice. Emma Hines shoots it right back in. Racing after it, Devlin. Ooh, shot by Tristan Curry. Actually found its way on net, I believe, from almost what looked like an impossible angle. Now Dykowski gets it past her blue line. Sends it forward for Babington. Babington working against Devlin. Now Tallulah Cameron trying to take it away for the Eagles. Dykowski having none of it, though. She's just keeping it in that corner. Babington once again, pass into the slot. Almost a great chance. Rebound opportunity. And Ella Knuston's shot hits a couple of different Eagles stick. Now a 2-on-2 here with McKavikis into the offensive zone and ruled down for offsides. Boy, that is a killer with 5:39 here in this third period. And we're going to have our media timeout. How about how quickly this game can change? 2 goals in only about 2 minutes for LIU to put them ahead 3-1. Back in at the Sports Center of Connecticut. Just under 6 minutes left to go in what is now a 2-goal game in favor of the visiting Long Island University Sharks. I was paying attention last night to Franklin Pierce and St. Anselm, and, well, St. Anselm was down by 2 at home last night, down to the final 5 minutes of the game, and they found a way to come back. See if the Eagles can find a way to do it as well here at home. First, they got to get it out of their own defensive zone, and LIU doing a good job this period of just keeping the puck on this side of the ice. We say it so often, but especially here in the Newha, the possession game is so important. And in the third, LIU winning that game for sure. Robillard takes the slap shot right at the top of the blue line, deflects and bounces a couple of times. I believe Saunders did get a piece of it, but it gets cleared into safety. Peyton Tully past the red line, past the blue line, offsides once again. Boy, the Eagles, they've had their chances trying to enter the offensive zone here in the third period, but that's 2 plays in a row where they've been whistled down for offsides going back before our media timeout. 4:59 left in this final period, and now you got to start thinking about, as we ride this bumpy road to the finish, when will Brandon Brown pull Emma Saunders down 2 goals? The Eagles trying to keep the puck in the offensive zone. Jody Rose racing after it, but Lisa Schroeffel was in a better position there. Butera couldn't clear her zone there. Finally, the Sharks do get it out of there. Puck goes all the way down the ice. Not going to be an icing, as the referees say that Webster got a piece of it. Eagles moving left to right in their home white uniforms. Shoot it into the far corner, get a couple of fresh legs out there. LIU going to shoot it back down the other way. Again, you'd think that one would be an icing, but actually they said that it was tipped in front of the red line, so we'll play on. Noonan across for Jet Devlin, the only goal scorer today for Post. Back to Noonan, and Noonan has it taken away from her. A nice play defensively by a couple of Sharks, and good positioning overall from LIU. Just prevent the puck from going into the middle of the ice and giving the Eagles any real grade A scoring chances here in the third. Clock ticks down to 3 minutes and 48 seconds. Mikavicus handles a beautiful cross-ice pass. Now skates into the offensive zone, but Sam Matthew positions herself well and gets the block. Stays in the offensive zone for Post, but right onto the stick of Quackenbush, and she's able to get it out of there. 3 minutes and 30 seconds left in this game. Karis Kale couldn't retrieve it. Now Ruby Mitchell tries to do so. She can't do it cleanly. Puck is bouncing around all over the place in the Eagles' defensive zone, and LIU is going to walk away with possession. Matthew sends it to the near side for Quackenbush. Now Mikavicus, one of the Post leaders and veterans on this team. Long shot right on goal, and that actually might be a good thing for the Eagles because it forces an offensive zone face-off. Just over 3 minutes left. Brandon Brown talking things over with his assistant coaches and his team on the bench. And you can't see, but I can see Hannah Saunders looking towards the bench, trying to get a signal. Faceoff comes to the right of Clara Kamholtz, and once again, LIU wins it in their own zone. Robillard slows it down, sends it back behind her own net. Ella Knuston with possession, and she sends it forward. Boy, a 2-on-1 forming here, and offsides is going to be whistled for LIU. Eagles might have caught a bit of a break there as they look to be slacking defensively there for a second, but the faceoff comes back into neutral ice. The third period here, man, LIU has been dominant, outshooting the Eagles on goal 13-4. Really such a different story from the first half of this game. LIU and Kelly Nash can be difficult when you're on the road, especially in conference, and they found a way to kind of group together and take a 2-goal lead late into this third period. Eagles not able to get possession in their offensive zone, which doesn't allow Saunders to leave the net. Zoner able to grab it, but she's getting worked by Grace Babington right behind her own net. Now finds Riley Patfield. Patfield moves it forward, but Robillard takes it away. Pass left a little too long for Georgia Stevens. Clock ticks down to 2 minutes now. Babington with a physical play, takes the puck away from Zoner. Now driving towards the net, tries to pass into the slot, deflected by an Eagles defender. Puck bounces around the boards. 1 minute and 50 seconds left to go, and the puck is still in the offensive zone at LIU. They take a shot. Saunders got her blocker on it, forced to make a save. Mortal tries to just send it in deep, gets cut off by Zoner. Now a minute 39 left to go in this game. Zoner going to send it in and change off the ice as the Eagles get a bunch of fresh legs out there. LIU still with possession. Saunders going off to the bench. There she goes, the extra skater on for Post University, down by 2 goals, trying to retain possession in their offensive zone, but Webster couldn't do it cleanly. Now a minute and 20 seconds in this game. Webster into the deep corner. Jody Rose tries a tough angled shot. Cam Holt's got a piece of it. Fight for the rebound, and it does look like it's going to stay the Eagles' way. Karis Kale finds her teammate. This is Rose once again. One-time attempt for Webster. And with a minute 2 left, Clara Kamholtz makes the save. Some extracurriculars there between some Sharks and some Eagles. Boy, maybe the best chance of this third period so far for the Eagles coming on this one-timer attempt. You can see Karis Kale just on the far end, just sends it across. And boy, a beautiful play. Marley Webster was almost able to bury it home, but instead, Brandon Brown going to take his first time out. Smartly done here by Brown, and the Eagles will talk it over. It's 3-1, and we'll be back in 30 seconds. Back in at the Sports Center of Connecticut, the net is empty for Post University. 6 skaters on, down by 2 goals with a minute and 2 seconds left. Face-off, loose puck, and it looks like it's going to go LIU's way. Not able to clear the zone, however. Mikavicus keeps it in for the Eagles. Now Emma Hain dancing around right at the slot. Back to Mikavicus, and Mikavicus' slap shot just goes wide. Boy. Mikavicus collects the loose puck, back to Karis Kale. Up the middle now, backhand try from Jody Rose, and Clara Kamholtz gobbles it up. A couple of Eagles were right there looking for the loose puck on the rebound, but LIU defenders buried that or prevented that opportunity, I should say. And we have a stoppage here, 40.2 seconds left to go in the game. For the Eagles, it's Karis Kale, Emma Hain, Jody Rose, Jet Devlin, Maddie Noonan, and Selena Mikavicus, the 6 out there. Karis Kale driving, now stopping, sends it across the ice for Hain, and Hain takes the shot, but that one hit a couple of bodies. Rebound chance once again, and Klamholtz once again able to just gobble it up for LIU. A touch under 30 seconds left to go in the game. Gotta love the effort here from Post University. After the timeout from Brandon Brown, you can see they're taking very quick shots off the draw. But with only about 30 seconds left, it's going to take just about a miracle to try to tie this game up. And you got to win those faceoffs if you're the Eagles. Boy, loose puck bouncing around. Puck still seems to be loose in the crease. It's still loose. Nobody has a hold on it. A few shots went on goal. And I believe Clara Kamholtz finally able to cover it up. Boy, I don't know if anyone really saw what was going on right in the crease of Clara Kamholtz. But eventually she was able to get on top of it, and the referees do stop it. Might be able to see Kamholtz. Can't tell if she's cheering or complaining to the referees, but either way. Still up 2 goals. Only 16.7 left to go in this one. Face-off comes to her right. Jody Rose against Ryan Kearns. And Rose won it, but it clears the defensive zone, and that likely puts a nail in the coffin here for Post University. They send it right back in. Kristen Kigan racing after it, but with only 5 seconds left to go, and the tie up in the far corner, LIU comes into Shelton, Connecticut, and they score 2 goals in the third to take this game by a score of 3-1. What a game this was, but between two teams in the Nuha, two conference foes who are both trying to improve their record. And Post, they've been playing their best hockey of the season coming into this game and started off that way, looking that way at least, as they really dominated the first, 30 minutes of this game, I should say. Outshot the Sharks, I should say, in the first couple of minutes in the first period and the first couple of minutes of the second period, but overall just couldn't find a way to take a lead in the third, and LIU was able to take advantage as they came out with a head of steam. Taking a look at some of the stats in this game, 34 shots on goal for LIU as opposed to just 29 for Post University. Power play-wise, Sharks go 0 for 1. The Eagles, they do up their power play percentage as they go 1 for 3. In the face-off circle, 27 wins for LIU, make it 31 for the Eagles, so they were able to win in that category. But really, the name of the game today has to be the blocked shot totals. It was the LIU defenders who were tremendous at getting themselves in good positions to just prevent pucks from ever getting on net of Clara Canholtz, as they blocked 23 total and 13 for Post University. Taking a look at the scoring recap in this one. The scoring didn't get started until the second period. It was a power play goal from Jet Devlin as she just buried home a loose puck, and that made it 1-0 in favor of Post. But Drew Dykowski answered back just a little over 2 minutes later, and that evened up the game at 1-1. Then we go over to the third period, and it just felt like LIU came out as the slightly more aggressive team, the slightly more energetic team. Here in the third, it was Victoria Petruska who put them up 2-1 as she buried a rebound chance, a bullet of a shot. And it was Emma Mortal who really put the nail in the coffin and made it 3-1 in favor of Long Island University. So that's going to do it for all of us here at Post University. Of course, these two teams will face once again tomorrow. That will be on the island for Game 2 of this home-and-home series, trying to get a start time, and that's actually going to start on the island as a night game at 7 o'clock. But until the next time we see you here at Post University Women's Hockey, excuse me for 1 second there, I apologize. So until we see you, for Michael Vesci, Kristen Brown, Jarrett Michaels, and the rest of our athletics communications team and graduate assistants, my name is Max Stapleton saying thank you so much for joining us, and have a very